Okay, so we're here to review running shoes. Okay, so I'm an avid runner. I've been running since 2008, and the reason I'm doing this is again just to, I guess, pay it forward to for people who has been giving great reviews on the internet, right? And I'm just about to do the same. Nothing sponsored here. Every pair of shoes that you see here, I bought it with my own money. So let's just get out of the way. And the other reason that I wanted to do a review of these is that most of the reviews that you see online are just, in my opinion, dishonest. Whether they do it deliberately or by accident or whatever, still dishonest on a number of things. They review the shoes after running a couple of runs, like maybe 5 or 10 miles, which is not really enough to justify or make a sound judgment on how a shoe runs, how you run with a shoe. And second is sponsored reviews. I really have a trouble to say that a sponsor review as an honest review, whether they say it's like nobody's reviewed their video prior to publishing it. It's a dishonest review because unlike, say, a camera review that's a sponsored review, it's a little bit of a gray area because with cameras, the companies can still have rooms to improve it, so they really have genuinely need a proper feedback on those equipment. With shoes, it's a different story. More the shoes that go out to these reviewers, quote unquote, are the final form. So it is in the best interest of those reviewers to not put a bad word on the product that they're reviewing. So I think it's dishonest. So with that those two things explained, I'm gonna go through each one of these shoes, these pair of shoes. So all of these shoes are from different manufacturers, most of them Nikes though, and they are the what they call the carbon fiber infused lining in them. So I'm not gonna go too much into that. So, but basically, believe the hype. It's not snake oil. The carbon fiber infused shoes really does help you in running faster and running more efficiently. But not all carbon fiber infused shoes are created equal, and this is what we're going to dive into today. So I'm going to start with, I think, is the worst one. This one. This is the Asics Meta Racer Tokyo. So according to my Strava, I have 159.4 miles on this pair. I think the longest I've run on this is about half marathon. What can I say? Let's start with the positives, I guess. This is a light shoe, so and the lacing is made of material, so it doesn't come off loose, no matter how hard you run in the rain or on sunshine. But that's about it. Yes, it's carbon fiber infused, but there's basically no cushion on this thing. The cushion is too firm in my opinion, and by the time on, like, you know, your mile 5, it's gone. Like, you know, there's no energy return. It, like, you know, your shins will be destroyed beyond that. So I cannot really recommend this. This thing, this USB-C like port in here, they say it's supposed to help in, like, you know, ventilation. Doesn't really do anything. So yeah, this is I think this is about $200. Not recommended. So if you're gonna buy this one, I think you should buy this one instead. This is a bit cheaper. I think this is $180. I mean, obviously, and this is the only the reason why I have this pair here to compare with this one. And the advantages of this is, like, you know, it's, I mean, it's also like this, like, you know, you probably don't want to run beyond a half marathon on this one, because this cushioning will not last that long. There's no bounce by the end of the 10th mile. And the other thing that I do not like about this shoe is that there's no, the height of the toe room is not that big. So my toe hurts every time I run on this shoe. And I have about 105 miles on this shoe. So which tells you a lot. So yeah, this shoe, in my opinion, is better than this, but that's not really saying much. If you're running marathons, I cannot really recommend either of those shoes. So let's go to the next one. This is the Saucony Endorphin Pro or something. Anyway, so this one, I've accumulated 309 miles on this pair, so I think my opinion carries a big weight because of that. So this is the one that also disappointed me, but like a lot, because, like, you know, first of all, it's too firm. It doesn't flex much. I don't know what kind of moron designed this shoe. It's basically made of styrofoam, I think. I mean, even the, like, you know, the texture of it is like styrofoam. It's like, you know, that, yeah, let's contact the manufacturers of packaging material, put a like in a shoe upper, call it a day. That's what I think what happened in the meeting product brainstorming room. However, like, you know, I mean, not to put too many criticisms on this shoe, it actually did a couple of things right, in my opinion. So first is the structure here behind the shoe is actually pretty good. So this would do a, like, you know, hug your ankles, no problem. So you have your well balanced and what have you. And I think this one's kind of genius. So this part, so if you can see, there's like a bit of structure in there, which allows you to have, like, even though the thing is not stretchable, there's actual ample toe room in here. So you're not gonna have a trouble, like, you know, having black toe or like really constrained toes in there. So and the third one that they did right, I think, is this part. So this thing, right? So at least you could put your, like, you know, your sensor, foot sensor in there. Looks like it's made for that. So that's something. And so yeah, so like I said, but still overall, I still cannot recommend this shoe. It's, I mean, because it's too firm, there's not much energy return. You might as well just run barefoot. I cannot, like, stress enough how badly designed this shoe is. And not only that, this requires a lot of break-in. Because of the fact that it's too firm, right? It took me like maybe 4 or 5 runs before I get accustomed to this. And because on the first couple of runs, I thought I was just gonna get rid of it, but I know it's too expensive. Like, it's still also $200, so I just didn't want to give up on that easily. So I continued with it until, like, I accumulated 300 miles. It's better, but again, that's relative. Not much better than this. So than this one. So this one you can probably also go like half marathon at the most, but I wouldn't risk doing a full marathon on this one. This is this is a badly designed shoe, and I think this firmness is gonna cause injuries. But that's my opinion. Now with those shoes out of the way, let's go with I guess the brand that started the carbon fiber craze, I guess. So let's start with this, right? This is the original Alpha Fly. Actually, this is the second iteration of the Alpha Fly. So I have a Vaporfly. The Vaporfly 4%. On this pair, I have 414 miles on this one. So, what can I say? This is one of my favorite pair. So I've run marathons on this one. So I've had PR running marathons on this one. It's well cushioned. It's light enough. It's actually very light for the amount of cushioning that you have. And like I said earlier, this is the first pair where I think the carbon infused lining really does its job, and does its job very well. My only criticism, well, everything else is good. Like, I mean, the toe room could be better, but the upper is stretchable, so it's not much of a problem. This part, even though it kind of looks cheap, it does very well in holding, because of the cushioning in there. It does very well in holding your ankles down and making more stable. And even though it has like I believe a 10 millimeter drop from heel to toe, running, like, I'm a 4-foot runner, and this doesn't really pose a problem for that, because usually, like, I prefer like close to zero drop shoe, but this never been a problem. Like, I run 4-foot and runs fine. As you can see, like, this is, I think, way past its recommended mileage. I have 400 miles. I think this is recommended to up to 250, but this has been discontinued, and I love this pair, so I think I'm gonna keep it until the whole, I don't know, probably a bad idea, but that's how much I love this pair. This is I would say, the top 3 of all the things that I've run with. Okay, there's not much else to say. I mean, I guess the only thing I would probably care to mention is that this lacing doesn't lend itself to like the runner's loop, but it's not a problem, because the laces is designed, the material is designed so that it doesn't unravel itself very quickly. So yeah, one of the best shoes that I've run with. Now let's go to this one. For those who, I mean, if you're a runner and you've stayed this long, you probably are aware of this one. This is the Vaporfly Next Percent. What can I say? This is probably like, so between, I just gotta say, this is not exactly my top shoe. It's actually tied for this pair. Of course I'll get to that one later. But yeah, what can I say? It's expensive, I know, but it's about $250 if you can find one. But this is a game changer for me. When I started running on this shoe, it's cushioned but not too cushioned. It's soft but not, it's soft enough to have energy return, but not too soft that you're running on pillows. It has a lower heel to toe drop. I think it's about 8 millimeters, so that's better. So it works better if you're a forefoot or a midfoot runner. Again, the carbon infused lining just works very well to be more efficient with your strides. So the only thing, the other positive here is that they beefed up the structure on the heel, on the ankle. So even though this is already pretty good, this one's better. So a couple things that really hold it back, to like hold it, why it's not the best. First thing is the upper material. Unlike this one where it's stretchable, this one isn't. So it's like raincoat. It's not stretchable, it's not breathable, so it's actually a problem. It's like, on long runs, it becomes like it becomes to constrict your toes, because your toes expand as you run longer, and that becomes a problem over time. But don't get me wrong, it doesn't really pose a problem that much that it may cause injuries. But nevertheless, it still becomes uncomfortable as you run in long runs. The other thing that I would say is that the longevity. I mean, if this has, like, if this, like, doesn't last long, this is actually an order of magnitude worse. So you can see here I have so I have 624 miles on this one, and it's almost dead. So maybe I should retire this one, but I don't know. I can still keep running on them because that's how much I like running with these shoes. So I liked it so much, I got a second pair as soon as it became available on the Nike web store. So this one is how much do I have on this? This has 250 miles on it. So what I did notice, and I don't know if this is just me, I think they changed something on the material on the Zoom X from this one to this one, because what I did notice is that this part lasts longer, but I find that it's a bit firmer than this one. I don't know, it's probably just me, but it bothered me so much that I couldn't retire this shoe. So even though this has more than 600 miles, I still run on this. Like, you know, if I'm doing short runs like 3 or 4 miles, I would still run on this shoe compared to this one. Don't get me wrong, it's not like it's a huge downgrade, but it's just that I think they changed something here that it makes it just a tiny bit worse. Now we go with which I think for me currently is like like it's neck and neck really, but on some occasions this is better, on some occasions this is better, and I'll go through that as much as I could. So this is the Alpha Fly Kipchoge edition. I have 268 miles on this pair, so it's an evolution, I guess, so almost zero drop. I think a much thicker sole. It has the Air Max technology in there. So if this is already very good, like it's stretchable and light, this is even better. I thought the material here would tear itself like quickly, but that's not the case. It's actually pretty solid. It's very durable, and it's very breathable. It's stretchable, so I cannot really complain about that. So and the way they design the laces, it has like some rubber material in them, so when you tie it up, it doesn't really come loose regardless of what you do. So again, that's a very huge design choice, very good design choice. This is similar to this, so nothing's broken about that. Don't change anything. They just included like this loop in here, which whatever. They also added like cushioning here, which is again not much, but it helps, like, you know, comfort wise on your shoe. You'll probably gonna be seeing reviews that this is a step back compared to this one, and I think I can explain what that is and what that's about. The thing here with this pair, right, is that if you don't run like Kipchoge, so if you're not a midfoot striker, this shoe will punish you because it's not very stable if you heel strike because of the design of the shoe. I cannot really tell whether it's the narrowness here or something else, but if you're a heel striker, I cannot really recommend this shoe. I think you should stick with this one if you're a heel striker, because I think the design of the shoe doesn't lend itself to heel strikers. So and of course, like, you know, the air zoom is on the midfoot area, which works. I failed to mention that it actually works. It's not a gimmick. It does help you even propel faster, or more forward, quicker, more efficient running. Again, but it's very important that you're a midfoot striker when you're running in this. Otherwise, it's not going to work, because it's unstable when you try to land on your heels. So that's the only thing. And so like the final thought on this is that I couldn't really say this is number one, because the longest that I've run on this is half marathon. I've yet to run a full marathon in this pair, so I couldn't really, the jury's out there still for me if this is really the best pair of shoe. So now on one final thought, you're probably wondering, like, what would be my best shoe? What would be the, like, you know, how would it look like? In my opinion, it's a simple ask, right? The simple answer for me is like, I want the heel structure of this, of the Alpha Fly Next Percent, with the upper of the Alpha Fly. I mean, so the heels of the Vaporfly Next Percent, and then the upper of the Alpha Fly. That's all I really need. And the good news is, Next Percent 2 is exactly like that. So I ordered a pair. Like, you know, I already bought one. It's coming this week, so hopefully I'll have a full review of that. But of course, it's probably gonna come much later, because I'm not gonna publish any video until I get at least 100 miles on them. And yeah, that's it. So if you're looking for, hopefully this helps anyone who's looking for a real, honest, comprehensive review of carbon fiber infused shoes. Yeah, till the next one.